What are contrails? Contrails form when the warm, moist exhaust fumes from an aircraft mixes with the cold ambient air, producing ice crystal clouds. The nuclei of some of the ice crystals in a contrail will contain minute products of combustion, but they are essentially ice. Chemtrail ecology, bio. The author has a master's degree in zoology, bachelor's degree in forestry, and minors in other natural sciences such as biology, fishery science, chemistry, geology, wildlife management, botany, watershed management, recreation management, soil science, conservation and ecology. He is retired after 35 years in public service in conservation of resources. Introduction. The most obvious thing about chemtrails from jets is the tinting of the sky to an overall whitish hue instead of a normal blue colour. The ostensible reason is geoengineering to combat global warming, climate collapse and reduce heat levels. This paper deals briefly with the problem of barium, strontium and aluminium particles when they hit the ground and the ecological effects. Information was gathered from reputable national and international organisations and their websites, not from blogs and opinions. Barium. Thankfully, this alkaline metal is mostly very heavy and inert, BaSO4, but it accumulates in bones. While the present data appears to say barite has no effect, I advise caution because we have never seen so much of it applied so fast to the land before. This element has no biological value, but can be very toxic in some forms and amounts. We do not know how much is toxic over extended periods, but any abnormal particulate in the air contributes to lung cancer. Commonly it appears in rat poison as BaCO3. Strontium. This grey soft metal is also mostly inert and accumulates in bones. It will replace bone calcium if concentrated. Documented cases of human poisoning are mostly children. Adult poisoning occurs in cases of poor nutrition, with general weakening and debilitation of the nerves and the skeletal system. Symptoms often appear like osteoporosis and are usual in America. This metal has no biological value but can be toxic or cancerous in large doses. We do not know how much is toxic over extended periods. Aluminium. This grey soft metal is very chemically active, especially if concentrated. Documented cases of human poisoning are suspected. Usually it is in cases of poor nutrition, with general weakening and debilitation of the nerves and skeletal system. Generally it is suspected in Parkinsonism and mystery neural disease. This metal has no biological value but can be toxic if concentrated. We do not know how much is toxic over time. Cautious people generally have begun avoiding aluminium cookware and food containers, particularly beverages. While not obviously deadly like lead, cadmium or mercury, this metal is pervasive and in our society and thus deserves more attention as a probable cause of dementia, antisocial behaviour or emotionalism. Chemically, this metal in chemtrails comes down in micron-sized particles that immediately get absorbed into the biosphere. The effect is immediate, but the amount is small, so the effect is not readily seen. The effect is permanent because there is no way to get an elemental particulate form like this out of soils in the ecosystem. Some aluminium is naturally present in some local soils at about 10,000 UGI, or 1% being normal. We do not know the effect of permanently increasing aluminium in our farms and gardens. In the soil, aluminium chemically acts as a buffering compound. Due to the peculiar structure of the element with a positive valence like calcium, aluminium molecules and ions can act to neutralize acids or acidify bases. Aluminium hydroxide is popularly used for acid indigestion. So this is HR 2977 Space Preservation Act of 2001 introduced to the House of Representatives. I'm not going to bother reading it all, but I'm just going to go all the way down here to Section 7 Definitions. In this Act, the term space means all space extending upward from an altitude greater than 60 kilometres above the surface of the Earth and any celestial body in such space. 2a. The terms weapon and weapons system means a device capable of any of the following. 1. Damaging or destroying an object, whether in outer space, in the atmosphere, or on the Earth. 2. By firing one or more projectiles to collide with that object. 2. Detonating one or more explosive devices in close proximity to that object. 3. Directing a source of energy, including molecular or atomic energy, subatomic particle beams, electromagnetic radiation, plasma or extremely low frequency, ELF or ultra low frequency, ULF energy radiation against that object, or any other unacknowledged or as yet undeveloped means. Inflicting death or injury on or damaging or destroying a person or the biological life, bodily health, mental health or physical and economic well-being of a person through the use of any means described in Clause 1 or subparagraph B. 2. Through the use of land-based, sea-based or space-based systems using radiation, electromagnetic, psychotronic, sonic laser or other energies directed at individual persons or targeted populations for the purpose of information war, mood management or mind control of such persons or populations, or by expelling chemical or biological agents in the vicinity of a person. B. Such terms include exotic weapon systems such as electronic, psychotronic or information weapons. Now this is where it gets good. 2. Chemtrails. Now, can you honestly say, everybody who says, oh yeah, there's no such thing as chemtrails, well, if there's no such thing as chemtrails, why is US government using the term chemtrail? You know, because they're not real, so there won't be such a word. You know, people need to wake up and start looking into things and realising what's going off, rather than just saying, oh no, you're stupid. No, chemtrails are real and people need to wake up to it, but that's it. Cheers.